Guess who's back?
Yoo-hoo, she's back.
Hey guys, so today we will be doing a book recommendations video. Fun fact, this idea just came to me last night, midnight. I was just sitting in bed, I was like, you know what, yeah, let us actually do an amazing book recommendations idea. And this is my first time ever to thoughts that come to me at midnight, so hopefully this is good. Another fun fact is that this is my second time recording the video because my stupid camera is literally out of focus and I cannot make it out of focus because these cameras are ridiculous. Okay, so we've got a pile of books right there. You can see that, those pile of books. We're not covering all that today. I have a big giant luggage. It has a lot of books, basically leaning against the wall, so if I lay it down, I can't really get it up again because it is very heavy. And your girl here, she's just a swimmer. She doesn't really use weights. Which one should I recommend first? We'll see. So first off, we have Five Survive by Holly Jackson. This is an amazing thriller that I'm sure I'm gonna give a 5-star. First off, look at how tall this book is. Like, this book is not usually like the other books I read. Like, compared to The Wicked King, it's real short. Like, look at that. Real short. And also, look at the smell of that book. I don't think you ever cared, do you? So we follow our protagonist, Red, and she's on this road trip with her friends. They're in this beautiful, amazing RV, but suddenly it breaks down. And they find out that there's a shooter outside waiting to kill each and every one of them. One of the 6 inside the RV has a connection with the shooter outside. So they're trying to figure out how they're gonna get out of here. They're trying to figure out who inside is the imposter. It's a very amazing book. Honestly, this is a page turner. This is what I call a page turner. Like, I can't read this book. I'm thinking about like putting the books I read right, like we covered right here. Is that good? Probably not. The next book that I'll be covering is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, another book by Holly Jackson. Listen, I've read all the Holly Jackson books that came out. And this, fun fact, this was actually the first book I've ever annotated. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Fun, annotated, broken spine. Fun fact, this was actually a gift from my friend. She knows herself. Thank you. When Belle was 2 years old, her mother disappeared into thin air. Disappeared. Belle has to live with her father. Now Belle's 18, and a true crime documentary wants to interview Belle and ask her about her mother. Suddenly her mom reappears. Now they're trying to figure out, where was she? What happened during those 16 years of her life? What was going on? Did it have anything to do with the past? This book is just a family drama and it's another page turner. I really love it. It's amazing. Just read it. The next thing I'll be recommending is actually a fantasy series. One of my favorite, honestly. It's real good, it's real nice, and the covers are pretty cute too. So that's a bonus. We have Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer. This book, reminds me of, what does it remind me of? October, November of 2023. Oh, that's for the good old days before any traumatic event. Oh, it smells like my November. By the night, we're in the kingdom of Candela, and there's this whole plague or kind of like disease. It's a fever, and people are suffering, and the medicine is not really available to anyone. We follow Tessa, which is our female main character, and she basically goes throughout like the town in the middle of the night, and she tries helping out those she can with the medicine, because it's really kind of illegal to have the medicine, so she's an outlaw because she sneaks into the castle, gets the medicine and goes back. But she's not alone. We have Weston, which is her helper, and Weston and Tessa doesn't really know, they don't know each other's identity. So Then we follow Korik. And Korik is the prince and his brother is the king. They are forced to rule at a very young age, and we get to understand why throughout the story. Tessa and Korik meet through the story, things happen, and it's real amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. And Tessa has to literally break all the rules and sacrifice herself just to save her people, her friends, her family, and it's fun. It's real fun. Defend the Dawn is part 2, but I can't really tell you what happens in Defend the Dawn. Not even the synopsis would help, because this, if I tell you what will happen at this, I'm gonna burn that. So just read them both. There is a part 3, which is Destroy the Day, but I don't have the copy yet, because it's not really in Saudi Arabia yet. So those are those. Next up we have Caraval. Look at that. This is a very shiny book. Oh my god, this book almost made me cry at the end. Imagine getting an invitation, okay? Imagine getting that as in your mail. It's real fun. That book is, and fun fact, this book is literally like that. I don't have to break the spine of it. I hate breaking my book's spine, and just breaking it makes me really upset. Okay, we follow Scarlett, and she's our main character, and her sister Tella. So we have our main character Scarlett and her sister Tella, and they live in an island where it's basically too strict, and their father rules it, and he's very strict, and they hate him, okay? And then Scarlett gets an invitation from the legend, which is someone she really wanted to meet since she was young. The legend basically rules out the whole caravel, which is basically like a big caravel, and it's full of like illusions and stuff. And it's just like a really fun event that happens like for 3 days, right? She gets an invitation, and by the help of a stranger, she and her sister, they go to the island where the caravel is. One rule that they do have to follow is that everything is just a game, everything is just an illusion. If you believe one thing, you die. Scarlett's sister basically gets lost, and she has to find her before the 3 days pass, and she has to like literally try not to believe any of the illusions and just remind herself that this is a game, this is a game, this is a game, just for her to get through the caravel and find her sister. There's romance, there's like thriller. It's a really page turner. It's another page turner. I really like it. Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlain. In 2020, we follow Kyla and her 6-year-old daughter. Kyla just lost her husband, and now she decided to move in to the house that Kyla and her husband built. So they built a house, and now it's just time to move in. But she's getting threatened by a neighbor, and she is feeling afraid, and she's being paranoid, and she's just real afraid because she has a daughter, right? And she doesn't want to lose her too. She just lost her husband, and she's obviously grieving, right? Now in 1965, we follow a girl called Ellie, and she's a white girl. Just keep that in mind. I don't know why that is important, but it is important. Ellie, and she is basically going to this civil rights camp without the approval of anyone. Like, no one literally agreed on that. She just went for it. Everyone was against it, but she just decided to go on. And during that civil rights camp, she's the only white girl there, and she falls in love, and she has to keep it a secret or her life will be in danger. I know this is a very weird book because we follow 2020 and 1965, which is like a whole different times, and you're right, it is. And I myself did not really understand what's the connection between this and that, but it does have a connection at the end of the book that made me be like, okay. Last House on the Street. Read it. The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak was one of those modern classic books that got me thinking, you know, classics might not be boring after all, right? We follow Liesel, a 9-year-old girl that got disbanded by her mother after her brother died. So she's living with her foster family at Germany at the time where Mr. Mustache was still there. You know who Mr. Mustache is. I don't have to say his name. We follow her grieving and her loving new foster father. It's just a really sad book, but it's kind of real fun for some reason. I do not recommend it to everyone though, because this is just not for everyone. You know, if you want to try something easy, classic, if you just want like a calm, fun time, just read that. Cat Among the Pigeons by Agatha Christie. Now listen to me. Any book by Agatha Christie, recommended, especially if it's following Poirot which is our detective. He's our investigator. Now, this book happens in a boarding school, right? And the boarding school, it literally have like all those different types of sports that you can play, especially tennis. And tennis is very loved, okay? One night, the teachers in the boarding school, they hear a very loud noise or like a very loud bomb or thud. And they rush downstairs, go to the tennis court, and there she is, the tennis teacher. She's dead. And so they're trying to find out how she died. Why was she shot in the heart 3 times? Julia is one of the students right there, and she basically goes, ask Hercule Poirot for help. She want to find out who did it. Everyone's in danger, and they find out that that cat, which is basically the murderer, is back. And turns out that this also happened like a few years ago before. So this is not the first time something like this occurs in a boarding school. And so they're trying to figure out who did it. Recommended. Third Girl by Agatha Christie. Now, this was another one from the Poirot series, which means that Hercule Poirot is our detective, because I think she has like 2 more detectives. Yeah, so 3 women in London, they share a flat. One of the women goes missing. The other 2, they try to ask Hercule Poirot for help, and they start investigating, and they're trying to search whether she disappeared or she's murdered, because literally no one knows anything about her. She just suddenly disappeared, and they're searching for her. They're searching for her body. Nothing is found. And then they try to investigate her past. They're trying to cover secrets. They eventually find out where she is. That's if she's alive. They find out if she's alive or not. Third Girl, read that. I think this is like enough for this video. I mean, look at that. We already have what? I think this is enough, right? I think this is enough books for today, because even I'm exhausted, and I said this is basically my 2nd time repeating all those statements, and I can see my camera flashing red for like what this is. It's been flashing red for the last 10 minutes. So I have to charge that as well. And those books, you have to read all of them. They were real good. They were real fun. Trust me, you are never gonna regret reading any of those books. So I'm glad I did attempt to do my midnight cravings, and I did record that video, and it was real fun because it's been a while since I recorded, and it's been a while since I opened my camera, and it's been a while since I got my equipment out. Yeah, that was real fun. Yeah, so thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you've reached the end. If not, then what a bummer. Yeah, I'm gonna see you all next time. Bye.